there's questions about the origin of the warp, but it's probably the state of Florida. And our guest tonight will help us explore that on the Vox Cascadia podcast. Welcome back, everybody. My name's Chuck. Connor, you're back with us. Good to hear from you, buddy.
Thanks. It's always good to be back. It was fun listening to the podcast last week because it wasn't as grating hearing my own voice and as hearing you and Tyler be the wonderful hosts you are. But it's good to be back. I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to have my beautiful voice out on the internet joining you guys.
Yeah, and for anybody who didn't get a chance to listen to the whole episode, make sure you stay through the end credits. There's a little AdMech corner at the end that we've posted in there too. Tyler, welcome back, brother.
Glad to be here, like always. I actually haven't even made it through a whole episode because I can't stand hearing myself talk that much. Same with any other of the podcasts I've been on. I can listen to like some of it, and then I gotta bail out. It's too much for me.
Well, I've edited the last couple podcasts we've done, and I've listened to every one of your podcasts, and I love your voice. So I think you should just take the time, learn to love your own voice, brother. And with us tonight, we have from Battle Brothers Tabletop, we have Ben.
That's me, another fellow enjoyer of Tyler's voice, Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop and Kill Team Casuals. What's up, guys? Thank you for having me on. I think Tyler, I think you have a really smooth, ASMR-ish, pleasing to the ear voice. It's very soothing, very comforting. Man, I like your voice.
It's not like so much that I mind my voice. I think it's pretty good. It's just that hearing it back is so intense.
Sure.
It's just that feedback in your head. I can listen to it for a while, and then after a while I'm just like, okay, I've heard enough of myself. It's like Uncanny Valley, but for sound.
Yeah, I get it. I feel you.
Ben, can you do your tagline? I love your tagline.
Oh, it's been a minute. Okay. Hi, I'm Ben. I like Kill Team, and I want to talk about it.
Love it.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
The start of your
Locked and
videos,
loaded.
Perfect. Just fell right back into it, like riding a bike. So tell us a little bit about yourself, though. What do you love about Kill Team?
Oh man, what do I love about Kill Team? Kill Team is my main tabletop game right now. Has been since last edition and will be for the foreseeable future. I love the skirmish nature of it. I love skirmish games. I love Warhammer 40K. I just don't love the full scale version of 40K. It's not quite for me. I know a lot of people love it, but it's not quite for me. I love the fast paced nature of the games. I'm a dad. I got kids. I'm a husband. I got to be burning through games. I got time for skirmish games. I don't have time for 4-hour games. I love Legionaries. Legionaries is my main team for the past 2 years since they dropped, really. So that has been my home base for a while, but I'm branching out. And so I just love how fast paced it is. I love how lethal it is. I love how cinematic it can be. But I also love the competitive nature of it, where I sort of liken it to a sword fight, where it's like a true sword fight where usually, and this is not always the case, but typically the first person to make a mistake is the one that loses, in a real sword fight. And so I love that sort of stressful nature to it, which is, I know some people don't like that, but I really like that about Kill Team.
I really love the competitive nature of Kill Team too. I've said this before a few times, and I'm not normally a very competitive person. It's just not in my nature. I like to be good at stuff, but not compete. But Kill Team, it just brings it out. I gotta compete, gotta be as competitive as I can be within reason.
Yeah, I didn't know you had this non-competitive side, Tyler, because all I've known you is from Kill Team, and you're just a killer in Kill Team. And then, so Ben, I had the pleasure of meeting you in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Open, and you got to meet Tyler, who you guys have had like a bromance for about 2 years now, and we met in the best place. We met in the Guy Fieri.
Oh yeah,
what was it called? Guy Fieri's Cantina in the Rio.
The home of love. Yes, the home of love itself.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than something with flames on it. The most orky place in all of Las Vegas by far.
Yeah, Tyler has been promising to take me to Flavortown for 2 years now. So we finally went there, and it was awesome. It felt like a big payoff because, like I said, we've been buds since the beginning of this edition. So it was awesome to finally get that bro hug.
It was so good. Long overdue, and I can't wait to do it again here this October, I think.
I'm so pumped, dude.
Dude, I'm so pumped. I can't even talk about all the stuff I'm pumped about yet. And I'm like so pumped. I can't wait to tell everyone everything about Killscream 3 and everything else that's going on with it here in the future.
Yeah, you guys have been sharing just the slightest of hints with the community and a little bit more with me, and it's been so exciting. And I think more importantly though, we need to get a statue of you two hugging and place that in Guy Fieri's restaurant, and like just with no explanation of what it is, and just let the legend grow of who these two wonderful people are and why they're hugging so gloriously.
I mean, that's what 3D printing is for, I think, is to make statues of your idols and, put them in Flavortown.
I'm in. I officially give the license for my likeness for this statue.
I consent also.
That's it. That's a verbal license. There we go. All right, we're doing it. So I need somebody to do. I have the pictures because when I saw the two of you just running across the restaurant to embrace. I got pictures of it.
Let's be honest. It was more of a frolic. It was a frolic towards each other.
It was like what Sound of Music, right? Like where they're like frolicking across the meadows,
So Ben, you love Kill Team. Tell us your kind of gaming / nerdy story. We all kind of have one. What were you doing before that, and what got you to where you are now?
Oh man, yeah, it's good question. Like I think for a lot of folks my age, I'm like 28 ish. I think I'm 28, and so like nerddom sort of started for me with like Star Wars a long time ago. It's not a pun intentionally, but I just stumbled into one there. And so I started with Star Wars, and I loved all things Star Wars, and then just sort of branched out from there into all the other things that Star Wars ripped off, and I eventually found my way to 40K, and I had been admiring like tabletop games from afar for a very long time. Like I remember seeing Lord of the Rings minis growing up and all these kind of things, Warhammer Fantasy, all this stuff, and just really couldn't afford it growing up as a kid and stuff. And but like played a little bit of D&D, all the nerdy stuff. And then I eventually I'm actually fairly new to tabletop wargaming. Like I said, I admired it for a long time, but my oldest daughter is 5 years old, so I started a little bit before she was born. Started with Age of Sigmar, and just started with a toxic play group, and so that sort of sucked the fun out of it. Then my daughter was born. I took a break and I came back to it, like a lot of people did, during the lockdowns and all that kind of stuff during quarantine. I took it as an opportunity to jump in with both feet, and was just a sort of, I think like it was for a lot of people, beacon of hope during those times. And I've never looked back since, man. I liked it so much. I started a YouTube channel about it and found some other cool guys, started a podcast about it, and here I am, talking to these beautiful boys here with a podcast about it.
Yeah, it's amazing how much a little miniature game can impact your life, huh?
Man, it's crazy, dude. Like my life, right, is so drastically different than it was before I started playing Kill Team. It's crazy.
Absolutely. My life is completely different than it was 3 years ago before like I really got involved with the community and stuff like that. It's just really wild.
Tyler, I don't know if you want to share a little bit now, or maybe down in another podcast about like how this community's changed your life.
I mean, I think that's like a lot of topic. There's like a lot to cover in like, kind of the ways that it's affected me. But like it's been drastic. Like I've had just like moved back to Oregon for like the short of it. I didn't have like hardly any friends. I knew like a couple people, had my girlfriend and my parents and stuff, and like no social life, pretty depressed, and like a lot of that stuff has been relieved. I'm not as depressed as often, and like I have a ton of great friends. I know all of you through this wonderful game. I know people all over the country, and I have like a lot of creative outlets now through the hobby, so it's really wonderful.
Yeah, it's really insane how much a game can change your life. Like for me, and I think something that a lot of people struggle with in adulthood is just loneliness on that like scale. Not to get too deep, we're on a Kill Team podcast, but like being a lonely adult and like not having friends in the way that you would like to have friends. And like for me, man, Kill Team has opened up I just so many doors to have friends all over the world that I never would have had beforehand, like literally all over the world. And for me, even like I started working at a game store, Warpfire Minis, and so like which is sort of a national. We ship national, all that kind of stuff, and so even opened up like job opportunities that never would have had before. So it really is crazy. Not to embellish too much, or try and make it bigger than it is, but like wargaming can just be a huge beacon of light in your life.
Absolutely. Just having something to look forward to, whether it's that like tournament in a couple of weeks or just that weekly hobby hangout and like kill team night, it's so much fun. Because otherwise, all you're looking forward to is just Fridays for being the weekend, and that's not too exciting if you don't have anything really beyond that. And
Totally.
it's absolutely just awesome to always see people, and it's a creative outlet too, which makes it so much more fun. Of like, what new thing am I gonna kit bash or paint, or story am I gonna build from playing this game? And it's what makes Kill Team and this like hobbies like this in general is so much more fun.
I think that Kill Team and like tabletop hobbies, like at any kind of miniature painting, stuff like that, all the adjacent stuff gives an outlet for creativity that a lot of people didn't know that they needed. I think that like humans are creative like by nature. It's part of us, and like to have something where you can kind of indulge in art where you normally wouldn't, and come up with new concepts in even like a little constrained manner, like miniatures, is very therapeutic on its own.
Totally.
Yeah, I know that I've been doing this for, gosh, like 25 years or something. I'm old, by the way. So, and I know that same thing, got back into it during COVID and found a community around it. So I feel like a lot of people, I feel like Kill Team especially, there is much more of a friendly community. I've heard about, like you talked about, Ben, like the toxic communities out there in a lot of different games. And I thankfully haven't heard about that in Kill Team, and if it ever does happen, I hope that it gets quashed right away. But yeah, that's exciting that you got back into the game that way. And I know that again, we've all met some amazing people from around the country and around the world through this game. So let's talk about your Florida scene a little bit. So we've heard a lot about Florida and the good and the bad stuff. It's a kind of a meme in certain points, but what's gaming like there? You're now Warfire Minis is in Ocala.
Yeah, Ocala, Florida. It's sort of central Florida, and it what they say. I don't know if it's actually true. I think it is, but like horse capital of the world, they say Ocala is. So a lot of horse people going around, and so that's sort of the main thing. But it like sort of it's a little bit hidden away. It's not super obvious, but horse capital of the world they call it. And so yeah, we have Warpfire Minis. We're about an hour 15 away from anything you'd want to do, like the beach, it's like an hour away. Disney, it's like an hour and a half away. Busch Gardens, like all those kind of things. So we're just far enough outside of those things that traffic isn't just completely hellish. But everything is pretty accessible in Ocala.
And then Warpfire Minis, you mentioned that you guys ship nationally, and you said that you started working for them. How did you come across that?
Oh man, yeah. So that has been just a huge boon to my life. Yeah, Warpfire Minis. Got to shout them out. Warpfireminis.com. If you don't have a local game store to support, or whatever it is, Warpfire Minis is an awesome game store. And most of our business is online, but we do have the storefront and all that kind of stuff. The play space. We're free shipping over $50. If you don't have a local game store to support, check it out. We try and keep everything in stock. Or if like just can't find something, check it out. We're a bunch of good guys. The owner Jordan is like one of the nicest guys I think I've ever met. Probably the best boss I've ever had. But yeah, so I started working there because I just started showing up. Like Warpfire Minis started in a shipping container across from a junkyard. And so I found it one day just looking on Google. I was like, oh man, because the other game store that I will remain nameless is a bit of a bummer. And so I was looking for another game store to go to, and I found Warpfire Minis, and I was like, ooh, in a shipping container, like, am I going to get mugged? And I walked in, and they helped me get, like, they had everything I needed. And so I just started showing up, and they finally had like a real building and a play space. So I just started showing up and showing up and showing up and like teaching Kill Team and trying to just be like a good person, like like you would try to be. And eventually something opened up, and the fact that I shoot and edit videos, have a background in that kind of stuff, also helped because I do videos for them now, and it sort of all fell into place. And it was awesome how it worked out, and I haven't looked back. It's a great job. Have a bunch of good friends there too. So wargaming just as a whole has totally changed my life.
That's awesome. You're able to make a living doing something you love, which is great because most of us make a living doing stuff we hate. So
Yeah, man, it is not lost on me. Like I get to go to work every day in like the Warhammer nerd heaven. So that the beauty there is not lost on me.
So what's the store like? Is there besides a shipping container? It's not anymore, obviously. There's a good play space there, or
Yeah, we so like 99% of the business is online. But Jordan, just because he's total stud of a person, like realizes that the play space is a cool thing for the community to have. It's does a lot for people, sort of along lines of all that we've talked about. It's a healthy thing for people to do, and so we have a big, like a huge play space now. Bunch of Warhammer props on the wall. We just moved into a new location, which is super sweet. I'll send you guys some pictures afterward to check it out. But yeah, so it's just a big giant play space. We got tons of tables, tons of stock, so it's pretty sweet, man. Like, doesn't get much better.
do you guys have like a local kill team night, or is there other games that played there?
Yeah, so like my boss Jordan is he's a big time Age of Sigmar player. He loves it. He was like one of the top Skaven players this past year. So like he loves the rats. And yeah, Friday night. So everything is played there. Middle Earth is starting to get a following, which is great because Middle Earth is a bit of a sleeper, but that game rules. It's super fun. Friday night is our kill team night where we just have a bunch of folks come in and play, and we always have teaching games going on. It's very beginner friendly, and while also simultaneously being very competitively focused. So Friday night is our big play night.
Yeah, that brings me to my next question, actually, too. So, what's the flavor? Is there a lot of competitive? Is it mostly casual? Do you guys have some narrative stuff going on?
So it is for sure competitive for us. But like not at the I like to say we're competitive but not at the cost of sportsmanship. Like it is we always get compliments. Like we just recently had a tournament. Somebody came in from out of state. They're like, man, Florida might have the best players that I've ever played with, because there was no drama or anything like that. So very cool, very nice, very chill people, but also competitive. We don't have any narrative going on. That's just honestly because I just don't have the time to do the narrative stuff. Like I think it is cool. Like you guys have some awesome narrative stuff going on. So we've yet to delve into that side of things. Just because there hasn't been the demand for it. Like everybody's pretty psyched on the competitive side of things. So no narrative yet, but maybe we'll change that one day.
Your competitive scene is like really starting to pop off recently, though, right? You said you had a tournament last weekend, correct?
Yeah, man, had the Magnolia Open, and we had 30 players. We had a bunch of drops. Unfortunately, we just had like but good excuses. Like somebody was like in the hospital for back surgery. Somebody's pregnant wife had kidney stones. So like those are like great excuses. Like those are super legit. But we ended up having 30 players. It was a golden ticket event, which is awesome. And we had Jimmy Kelly and his son Joshua Kelly fly in from California, and Jesh actually ended up I'm trying to get this name for him going. I don't know if he likes it yet. I should probably check with him. But I'm trying to get Jeshua the Kid Kelly going as his nickname. I don't know if he likes it or not yet, but I just think it's a cool nickname. So he won the golden ticket, which is pretty sweet.
It's a solid nickname, so I hope he does like it because it's just got that perfect amount of alliteration going.
Yeah, I think it's really good. And also, you don't get to choose your nickname. Other people choose it for you, you know?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So hoping it catches on. We'll see.
Yeah, I took a look at your at the results of your tournament actually and saw that the Kellys were there. I didn't know that they were going to come. They're in like California and coming across the country to take down a tournament. I played Joshua at Las Vegas Open, and Joshua, the Kid Kelly, is a killer.
Yeah, dude, like absolutely it absolutely like it came down to actually so he obviously undefeated. We had 30 people, 4 rounds, so like there's going to be more than one undefeated player. That's just for the nature of it without being a 2-day. And so the finals came down to we had one undefeated game was two Florida guys, and then the other game was Joshua and Jimmy Kelly playing against each other. Came down to them in the final round. And so yeah, man, like I was watching Joshua's games because you always see like somebody young and you're like, okay, let's check out, how this kid is doing. And man, he's a killer, dude. He is a monster.
You said you had two undefeated. Out of curiosity, what or not characters, but what teams were they playing?
Okay, so one undefeated, which was Jesh. He was running Gellerpox, so he won the event, which is nice to see Gellerpox, up there. Like some of the other melee teams have stolen the spotlight, but Gellerpox still very potent. And the other one was, of course, everybody's favorite team to hate. I think the least fun kill team in the history of kill team, Commandos. That was Dawson. He's sort of our Florida's golden boy, and so they were the other undefeated team.
Okay, when you were saying the everyone's least favorite team to play ever, I thought you were talking about Warp Coven.
Ooh, that's true. I tell you what, after the summer we've had, I would play 1,000 Warp Covens before I have to even look at another Commando.
I feel it also. Commandos have always been a rough spot for both you and I believe. So,
Oh yeah, psychic damage.
Now,
absolutely.
were you there just you were just TOing that tournament? You didn't play yourself?
I was, man. Like I wish I was playing, trust me, but like uh the story of my life is sort of, well, I guess I'll do it. That's kind of like the story of my life. And so I don't think I'm an exceptional TO. I like there are better TOs, there are better rules lawyers. That's not my strong set. I'm good at organizing, I'm good at running things, but when it comes to the actual TOing, I'm pretty lucky that we generally don't have crazy rules disputes or crazy questions come up. Like aside from things that you can just sort of walk through with, just an order of operations. But I was TOing. I'm not the best Florida TO, but I do end up running things.
I think that that's kind of how it happens a lot of times. A lot with me. I feel I'm not the best TO either, but someone's got to do it, right? That's why we pulled in other people to hopefully, help us ease that load over time. You know,
How many tournaments have you TO'd so far, Ben?
3 or 4. I think this was the 4th one, and so, like, we normally have around 24 guys, so this was the first time we jumped above 30, which was pretty sweet. And, like, we sold almost 40 tickets, but we ended up sitting right at 30 just 'cause of some, last-minute drops, more than you expect, but yeah, this is like our 3rd or 4th.
So what was the format of your tournament? Was it all open board? Did you guys just into the dark? Did you bring out Beta Decima?
Oh man, so I thought about memeing on everybody and busting out the Beta Decima, but with the golden ticket on the line, it was like, no, we got to play this thing safe, play it right. So we did Octarius layouts for open, and it was a Turning Point 2 or Turning Point second edition layouts for the open boards, and then for the all the Into the Dark stuff, it was Dakota's asymmetrical layouts for Into the Dark, which I just think are super fun. I think I know you guys all have an interesting relationship with Into the Dark. I'm a hardcore ITD lover. I love it so much, and I think Dakota's layouts breathe a lot of fresh life into the Dark playstyle.
The asymmetric nature of it solves like 80% of my issues with Into the Dark, and it just makes such a more fun to look at board as well. And it's what I wish ITD was from the beginning, because it just makes it that much better.
I think our relationship with Into the Dark is basically shaped on Tyler's hatred for Into the Dark.
I've heard that.
And we've all just followed along with Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler's like, he's basically the emperor out here. So, and he doesn't like Into the Dark.
hey, I'm the War Master, please. Let's get the titles right. The Emperor was a fool. But anyways, yeah, I'll take the blame for the Into the Dark hate out here. I think that there was legitimate problems with it for a while that have largely been addressed by Dakota's maps. I do like it quite a bit more after playing on his maps. But I don't know. I still think that there's like a couple issues with it. I think that they may be issues inherent to Kill Team. Well, except for guard. But like I think that silhouettes would solve a lot of it rather than like where the head of the model is and stuff like that, so you don't get like weird line of sight stuff. And I don't like that guard can shoot whoever rather than the player that activated. That's just kind of weird to me. And those are just minor gripes.
I feel like you're coming around to it a little bit at least, even though you got burned by the head part when Jimmy Kelly wouldn't let you shoot him actually because your head wasn't facing the right way.
I mean, those are the rules, and I messed up. Like you gotta play it like that. So
we know that Joshua took it down. It looks like there was some Felgor, a lot of Felgor near the top, besides Dawson and his commandos. I've heard of Dawson on some other podcasts as the Florida guy who he went to Worlds last year, right?
He did, and there's a good meme that sort of was in rotation around that time. He went into Ace round 1, and like all of Florida sort of collectively, like, you know, tore our clothes in in what's the word I'm looking for, like depression, basically. Like, oh no, like Dawson going into Ace, starting off with a loss, and he ended up taking down Ace at Worlds round 1. And like all of Florida erupted in just chaos and joy. So that was sort of his claim to fame at Worlds, and we love him for it. And shout out to Ace, but it just feels good to bring down a top player like that with your Florida boy. So
I mean, like, best in the world at that point. Like, once he beat Ace, he was number 1 for that brief moment.
Works like that 100%. That is pretty cool, though. He's like one of probably like 10 people in the U.S., if even that high, that can say he's taken Ace in a game of Kill Team, which is like the coolest honor you can have, probably.
Oh yeah, we were hyped. We're still hyped about it.
I think the real thing these days is to take out Adrian. Who can beat Adrian?
Oh man, I tell you what, I would love to see Adrian go on a tear with a team that's not Commandos. That's what I would love to see, because obviously incredible player, but I would like to see his chops with a different team to see what he can do. Revolutionize another team.
I feel like that's one thing with Ace is that Ace not only played, I mean, Ace played everything. I think Ace played Admech at one point. Who plays Admech? Ace played Dwarves and won London
Admech.
GT.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody here that likes Admech. So
Ben, please, I look up to you. Don't do this to me. This is like the worst thing in the world.
I knew. I was just trying to get a rise out of you.
They say never meet your heroes, right?
This is the worst thing ever.
So, as the TO, I know you're walking around looking at a lot of stuff. Did you have a chance to like see any cool plays or get any recaps? Anything that like stuck out to you?
Oh man, I don't know if I can think of any like crazy plays in particular. Oh yeah, here's one. Round 1 was a Harlequin versus Harlequin mirror match. So like two just hell spawns forced to play each other as far as I'm concerned. Hate void dancers. And so they were playing each other, which is good because they deserved each other. And it was on Into the Dark, which again they also hate. So just praise be. And they loaded up like in the middle. They met each other halfway, and one of the guys, one initiative, jumped in there and threw the grenade at like 4 Harlequins and did nothing. Like collectively against 4 clowns, he did 4 damage with that grenade, and so that was just pretty hilarious. I was laughing pretty hard at that.
I don't think there's anybody that actually likes Harlequins except Harlequins players, and I don't even think they like themselves.
Yeah, I think they play Harlequins because they hate themselves so much. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm glad they got what they deserve. That's what you get for bringing clowns.
Yep.
So Kelly took down this tournament. He's going to be at Worlds now with the golden ticket. Do you guys have another tournament on the books and anything coming up soon?
Yeah, so we have the Kill Team Florida Open, the KTFO. It will be coming up sort of at the end of summer, but Florida has been a dead zone for Kill Team for a long time, and we have some folks sort of coming up in the scene who are wanting to run tournaments that are not, whose names are not Ben, which is just the coolest thing in the world that I get to participate. But the thing is, the schedule is getting pretty crowded, so August is what we're probably looking at that for Kill Team Florida Open. Had to readjust because some other things have popped up on the calendar, and we don't want to overcrowd things. We don't want to be competing with other Florida TOs because we all know each other and all want to support each other's events.
I think that's been one of the hardest things. Just talking with all the other TOs and looking at when the events are getting announced and everything, trying to figure out when everyone can have their events so that people can come out to them and enjoy without fear of missing out on something else or another great experience.
What I think we need to try and do is have like a cross-country like guild of tournament organizers, and then one time, like for a week straight, or rather like a month, have like a tournament on the West Coast, and then the next state over another one, and then the next day another one. So someone could road trip from the West Coast to the East Coast and hit like 10 different tournaments in 10 days. Like that is the ultimate road trip movie and experience, and it needs to happen somehow.
Y'all ever watch Gears and Gasoline on YouTube? Ever seen that channel?
I have not. You have
Nope.
recommended that, I think, though.
Okay, so like they're these two guys, just like dudes. They like to race cars and build cars, but they do these road trips like every year. They get like some weird car, and they'll do from like Virginia or North Carolina to like Alaska in like 700 horsepower like WRXs and Evos and stuff. Let's knock that off. Let's do a Kill Team road trip.
I'm in, man. Count me in.
You just fly out and we'll drive all the way back down to Florida, okay? And then we'll fly back there.
Let's do it. I'm in.
Can we play a Kill Team game in Disney World? Like, do you think we could sneak models in a backpack or something that's set up on like Space Mountain?
Ooh, man, security's pretty tight, but I bet we could figure something out.
Awesome. All right, let's plan on it.
Stranger things have happened in Florida. We all know. So,
Oh, we've seen the news. I think we need to do like a cannonball run for Kill Team, where we start up in Bremerton where Connor is, and then just how fast can we drive across country and play Kill Team?
That'd be pretty fun. I'm sure we could figure something out.
Like in the cars?
No, I think we have to stop at the FLGSs, stop at the friendly local game stores along the way. So that's going to make it a little longer, but we can plan it out. So we bomb down the freeway, pull over, play a quick 3-hour game, and then move along.
easy mode.
We'll just play like 4 custodies versus 4 custodies so we can maximize time in the car and travel and stuff.
Yeah, but somebody's going to bring like shield custodies, and so they're not going to die, and they've got like 18 wounds, and we just need to play some compendium teams that are just going to die to everything.
That could work pretty well though. But I'm trying to think like what's the squishiest and fastest like compendium teams, like all Death Watch maybe, because don't they have like a bunch of APs so you'll just shoot each other off the board real quick?
That's good. Maybe Death Watch versus Imperial Guard, because everything will be dying quick.
All right, we're going to set this up. We can map it out. We can figure it out. I'll renew my AAA membership. They make you maps now, actually. So actually, that was the thing back in the day before GPS. You could go to AAA, because I'm old. You can go to AAA and they would map out your trip across country. And if you missed an exit, you were just screwed.
Man, Chuck, you are old, dude. I didn't believe you, but you are old.
Brother, I turned 45 today. So
hey,
happy birthday. As I said when Chuck first told me like how old he was at the tag team tournament, I was blown away. Chuck, you look great for 45. So well done on like exercising or eating healthy or whatever your secret is, like a healthy balanced breakfast of Kill Team or fiber or something.
That's what it is. I eat miniatures. The plastic. I mean, we're all got plastic within us, so might as well get it through GW's great stuff. So Ben, what about your competitive calendar? Is there anything on your competitive calendar? You got any tournaments coming up you're going to?
Well, yeah, I got a few, and it's like the end of the year is freaking jam packed for me, dude. So, in September, there is something called Crucible. It's a Florida gaming convention, and Kill Team is going to have its first event there, and I'm involved in assembling the team to run it, but I'm not going to be running it. So, I would like to play there. But then like a few weeks after that is probably the highlight of my year for wargaming, is that unless something catastrophic happens, I will be at Killscream 3 this year. The only reason I wasn't at Killscream 2 is because it fell on the same exact weekend as the GW Tampa Open. And it's like the Warpfire crew goes out to that when it's here, so I had to go there. So that's the only reason I missed it last year. So the dates are not conflicting this year. So short of like some catastrophe, I will be there, which I'm super pumped for, and get to hang out with all you guys. And then like 2 weeks after that is the Tampa, or maybe a week after that is the Tampa GW Open. And so that's what's on my calendar this year. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get my full 4 events for whatever faction, or 5 events. But that's fine. Like I don't get to play as much as I'd like to, but that's okay, because doing other cool important stuff.
Yeah, I think when GW released their annual like GT events, we saw the Tampa one. And I was like, okay, we're doing it the week before, so there's no conflict, and Ben will be here.
I was bugging you too. I was in your DMs bugging you. I was like, Tyler's like, any word, like, please make sure it's not the same weekend this time. I beg you.
Absolutely. There's no way I was going to let it happen again on the same weekend. I was so bummed last time, but this year we got it locked down. So
Gonna make it happen.
Side note, I'm a football fan, American football fan, and randomly a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, actually. Even though I've lived out here in the Northwest all my life, never had a team, and then started watching football in like 2001 and picked the Buccaneers. And so I have a little connection there to Florida myself.
Oh, strange. That rules. I was 5 years old in 2001, just to make you feel a little bit older.
Yeah, I was drinking when I was watching that game. So let's talk. There's conventions this week. ChuckyCon is one convention. Tyler, Connor, you going to be at ChuckyCon? I don't think you can make it, Ben. It's cross country.
Well, I have my sprues. I have my sprues ready to trade as to be a third party vendor, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make it out.
Well, if you do make it to the Pacific Northwest in Vancouver, I'll kick Shirt off the couch because that's where he stays. You can have the couch.
So generous.
Connor, Tyler, you coming in for ChuckyCon?
I'm absolutely going to be there. Looking forward to it this weekend. So I told my girlfriend I'm going to be gone all weekend mostly, and she's like, "What are you going to be doing?" I was like, "I'm going to ChuckyCon." She goes, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "It's a convention at Chuck's house. What do you think?"
Yeah, I'm hoping to make it as well. My girlfriend's got some friends, like she's from the Portland area, so I'm trying to convince her to come with me. Like, hey, we can have a weekend trip. You can see your friends. But if not, I'm definitely coming down for Sunday, odds are.
Sierra, come on down, Sierra. You can come by too. We can play. We'll get you into Kill Team.
I'm trying so desperately hard. I think my best bet will be just getting her. She likes to paint, and I'm willing to accept that. But I want her to play the game with me at the same time.
All right. And besides ChuckyCon, there's another like small convention in like the Chicago area. I think it's called Adepticon or something. And they're going to be revealing some Kill Team stuff. So we got a preview coming tomorrow night, actually about this time, about in 24 hours from when we're recording. So what do we think we're going to see and what do we want to see? Tyler, you got any ideas? Any whispers in the warp?
I mean, the whispers in the warp, I think, are pretty settled. Everyone is pretty aware, I believe, of what is coming. It's well rumored out there that we're getting Votan Pioneers and Brood Brothers in this next box, which is something everyone is excited for, especially on Beta Decima. Nothing says climbing and jumping like dwarves to me.
And Ben, where is our nightmare? Where is it, Ben?
I don't know, but my nightmare every night is that our nightmare box has not arrived, and I wake up and it is the living nightmare that nightmare is not here. I'm so ready for the fifth Mark of Chaos, the Night Lords Legionaries add-on DLC. I'm so ready for it, and they still haven't given us to us. So I don't know what has happened, but I feel like I'm living in crazy town.
I was announced before Thanksgiving. It's crazy.
Has it been that long, Tyler?
No,
God
it's been
dang.
that long.
That's wild, man. Yeah, this is crazy. I don't know what they're doing to us. I thought we've all been good, but apparently not.
No, this is our collective Kill Team nightmare. Every Sunday, the Kill Team Discord hangs out, killteamcascadia.com, and wait until 10 a.m. now that daylight savings has changed, 11 a.m., and we just collectively wait to see what drops, and then we're all disappointed. That's 11 Pacific. It's like 1 o'clock your time or something.
Yeah, like it seems to be the biggest bummer that like just give us a few Warcom articles, like drip feed us something. Like we don't need much. You know what I mean? Like we're not asking for much. Just give us a Warcom article every now and then. You know what I mean?
I mean, we're obviously invested in the game. We're hanging out talking about it at 8 o'clock Pacific and like 11:30 your time or something.
Yep.
Yeah, so come on, give us the goods, GW.
And they keep releasing the rules and the White Dwarves. That's kind of suspicious. Like, we got Blades of Cain and Scouts in the two most recent. ones. What's going on there? I kind of feel like maybe we'll see that again with Nightmare when it eventually comes out. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, hopefully they keep it up, and hopefully they also maybe this Sunday, if not tomorrow night, will put it out for pre-order, or at least confirm it's going out for pre-order this Sunday.
I don't think they've released the books for the Salvation yet, and so like if they're not releasing the books, are they wrapping up this edition? There, are we getting ready for like a new compendium for the next edition with all of the bespoke teams kind of like retweaked and stuff like they did with Warcry? That's kind of what I'm wondering here with that.
Yeah, it's interesting because like if you look at GW and their release schedules and how they design games, like it's pretty clear. Like it's no secret that they test things out like auxiliary games and then bring those things into 40K and their main flagship games. And so yeah, I think Warcry is a great game to look at. Like testing things out that might potentially come to Kill Team. I think that's a pretty reasonable way to think about it.
So the Nightmare box is actually announced. Is there one of those teams? Are you going Night Lords? Is that what it has been?
So like I'm a Legionary simp at heart. Like I love Legionaries more than anything. Tyler and I have bonded over that. I know Tyler is a Night Lord fan. I'm a Red Corsair guy, but I read the Night Lords trilogy and fell in love in book 2 with the Red Corsairs. But I'm always down for Chaos Space Marines. They're my favorite. I'm having a lot of fun with Hyrotech right now. They've been melting my brain a little bit, but I've started to finally see into the matrix, as it were, and so I'm having a lot of fun with them now. But when that box drops, I will absolutely try out the Night Lords.
If you're looking for some Hyrotech tips, I just listened to Just Another Kill Team podcast, and they had on Shane from Command Point, and he talks about his Hyrotech strategies, and it sounds pretty cool. So I've got the Hyrotech hanging out too, and I'm wondering if I want to mess around with those guys because I've got the AdMech built, but nobody wants to play AdMech.
Yeah, so Shane was in my ear about Hyrotech, like leading me on, deceiving me, and uh, turning me into a hero along with him. He was in my DMs. I was like, I feel like it's not the team for me. I feel like I'm not gonna like it, and I finally joined him in the dark side, and the team is so much fun. If you're thinking about it, do it, man. Like they're just so much fun. Shane's the reason why I'm playing him. He dragged me into that hole with him.
Is this where all those former Legionary players are going to get some relief?
Yeah, dude.
Hyrotech Circle? Dude, I didn't get the memo. Make sure you CC me on that stuff in the future.
Join us, Tyler. Join us. Yeah, like if you are tired of losing to all these hordes, play Hyrotech, and they'll just never make it out of their deployment zone.
Why is it Ben's play my team pitch seeming to be working, but anytime I even mention the word AdMech, you guys like mute me automatically or turn off your computers? This is some bullshit.
I played AdMech at a tournament once. Did you know that, Connor? And I failed horribly. I did not like they're a good team, but they're not for me.
How long ago did you play them? Was this like right when they came out? Because yeah, they were pretty bad, but my love for AdMech carried me through.
No, it was like leading up to LVO, not last year, but the prior year, so 2 years ago, when they were pretty hot. They just they didn't click with my brain,
I think it takes a special player to make AdMech work. Is I think where we're at.
You know what? I'll just take the compliment, and I'll accept that at least.
Was that a compliment?
I meant it as a compliment.
Like, I'm going to take it as a compliment, Chuck. Come on, don't be throwing this evil on me.
I'm building them. I'm working on them. I just got my Fnatic paints. Actually, I got the whole Fnatic line, and I'm trying to figure out how to make some beautiful AdMech and then burn them in a fire.
Connor, I'll let you know this. I'm going to be doing an AdMech shirt really soon. Also,
okay. Yes. Okay. Yep.
All
I'm
right,
very
Connor, do
excited
you
for
need
that.
like a minute to like take some like private time?
Yeah, I need to go take a walk or like get in a cold bath or something just to calm down the joy that just filled my heart.
Oh, and one thing that Shane from Command Point, actually his last game in the Command Point TTS tournament was actually against our buddy Brandon Bean, and he took down Brandon Bean. I think it was 16-13 is what they said, but it was really close. Brandon was playing Colts because Brandon went in and said, "Hey, what is nobody playing?" And it was Colts, and the Higher Tech Circle took him down. So, but if you're looking for a Higher Tech Circle like strategies, check out Just Another Kill Team podcast. It was really good actually. I kind of want to play them now actually.
Yeah, dude, you should. Yeah, Shane has helped me out a ton with him. He also helped me out a ton with Legionaries. I was playing Legionaries, and he jumped on the Legionary ship, and that helped me a ton. And then he jumped on the higher tech train, and I followed him as his Padawan into the higher tech journey. But if you're thinking about doing it, man, just go for it. Like they crushed the melee hordes so bad, it's crazy. Just between the the nanomine, and then the chronometron like Despotech missile you can send out, or like if they give you an alpha that's like too stupid to pass up, you chronometron yourself, you fly, a 9-inch move, then a 3-inch dash, and you probably dashed him in deployment, and you just alpha the whole team with a lethal 5 stun, and like it's just like there's so many plays that you can do, and the team doesn't look super killy, like because something that I love after playing Legionaries for like 2 years is the double kill. Like nobody gets the double kills better than Legionaries. Like that's just the truth. But this team has the potential to do it as well. It's just a big brain version, and so like I'm not a big brain team player, so it has taken me a little while to acclimate to them. But man, like their bag of tricks is so deep. You should totally try it out.
Yeah, I'm not a big brain player either. That's why I started Intercession and went Casterkin, and now I'm just kind of milling about trying to figure out what I want to play. But they sound super fun, and I got a bunch of Necrons painted up already, and they've got some pretty cool models. And Shane kind of sold me on them too.
Yeah, man. And I've been thinking about this for a while. Yeah, I know Connor loves his AdMech. I think an AdMech like converted proxied higher tech team would be pretty easy and super sweet.
I 100% agree. It's crossed my mind many times. The biggest problem is what I do for the actual crypt text or something, because for the most part, none of the tech priests really do it for me as in terms of like, damn, this guy's a cold-blooded killer. They all kind of look like a weird wizard grandpa type thing. So
Sure.
I'm waiting for like my dream is that when this Beta Decima came out, it's taking place on a Forge World, and they mentioned stuff about like AdMech rocking around. And my dream is eventually we'll get like a proper Herotech circle, but with new Tech Priest models. But if not, I will just bite the bullet and have to make a kit bash for it, because the Herotech are a pretty fun team from what I've seen.
Oh yeah, and dream with me here for a minute. Like the stilt guy could be your death mark. You just have to shorten his legs a little bit. That's an easy one. And then all the immortals guns are 4/5 AP1, which is like one of the Skitarii weapon profiles, special weapon profiles. So you have a couple of guys with that going on. You can have like any of the tech priests would do for the Aprintech, and you can use one of the larger ones for the Cryptech. Like I think it'd be perfect, man. I think you should go for it.
The Manipulus or whatever he is, like the little fat guy with his hands folded over his stomach,
Oh
floating.
yeah.
He'd be so good for a Cryptech.
Totally.
Like,
And the tech priest Dominus as well, like with the big hunchback, he's on a big fat base. Be pretty cool, man.
You guys are not helping me at this whole don't start another kill team when I already have like 8 in progress thing. Please stop it. But also don't keep going. I'm going to make this team now.
you should go to your local hobby store and buy a couple kits for kit bashing. Just put them on your shelf and then think about it for a while, Connor. It'll be good.
Oh, I already have a shoe rack type thing, like where you put shoes on, filled with boxes. I'm looking way too much boxes as it is. I can't be buying any more at the moment. But, tax season, I'll get a tax return soon. Maybe I can buy something.
Well, thank you for defining what a shoe rack is. We appreciate that. So Ben, question for you. If Legionaries were banned and Hyrotech Circle is banned because that seems to be your next team, and Night Lords haven't come out yet. What's a team that you would switch to?
Oh man, dude, that is such a total bummer. Just thinking about
Admech. Oh, it's the Admech. I don't know who's saying that. Admech, Hunter Quaid.
just thinking about living in this world would be a huge bummer. But the easy one for me, like the easy one would be Hand of the Archon for me, is that's a team that I've been playing for like a little bit on the side, and I see Tyler's hand go up. I know Tyler is a fellow Archon enjoyer.
I am such an enjoyer of them. I've been trying to make them work, and we're starting this narrative campaign, and that's who I'm bringing. I'm gonna go real space raiding with them when they get this buff with this next data slate too.
Ooh.
Everyone's gonna cry even more.
And you're gonna love it.
I am a Hand of
And
the
their
Archon
tears will fuel you.
hater.
What?
That stupid grenade. I hate that. I've got like grenade PTSD. If you go listen to all the podcasts, you'll hear about them. I got Fabi beat me up at one tournament. I got beat up at Adepticon last year with it. Just that grenade. I mean, they're really fun. I just think grenades shouldn't be a spot thing, and they can't go through walls.
Sure. Yeah, I'm a fan of things not being able to go through walls in general. But yeah, like nobody takes you to Crit City faster than Hand of the Archon does. Like turn 2 is just, would you like to roll 3 crits every time? Likely 4? Then play Hand of the Archon.
Is Crit City next to Flavortown?
Yeah, they're sister cities. Yeah, across. They're connected by the bridge. Yeah, the big bridge that connects them.
I know this is already a problem because we've had it talking about anime for a while, but I have been working for, you were talking about kit bashes, instead of Hand of the Archon, Hand of the Archmagos team.
Ooh,
Because
dude,
so
I
much,
love that.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, so much of what elves are, they play very similar to Admech of like glass cannon me fast. And a shuriken rifle does have the same profile as a radium carbine. So I'm just like, it's veteran Skitarii. They're on the same size bases. It's so easy. And I already have like multiple Skitarii kit bash to do it. I just need to find like a couple more bits to finish off some of the more specialized guys, and then I'll get that team ready.
Oh, dude, that rules.
Yeah, what bits do you need? I'll take them out of the trash.
I hate you, Chuck. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm most proud was I took some Rustdocker arms and put them on just like a basic Skitarii to represent the flare with one of the like special armored helmets that comes from the guys riding the Greyhounds, and he looks so clean. And I'm very excited to someday eventually finish that team.
You know, honestly, one of the things that stopped me from playing Admech at LVO last year was I was trying to do, or not last year, the year before, was I couldn't get the kits I wanted to kit bash together to do the Admech. And so, you know, I just couldn't do it.
That's disappointing to hear. What kits were you trying to find, Tyler?
It's the unmade. I was going to do some dark Admech, like,
Yeah.
you know, still
Nice,
and
that'd
stuff
look
like
good.
that. Like, rather than like, you know, clean biomechanical stuff, like, you know, they chopped off their legs and just shoved it in the stump and stuff like that, skinned off faces.
That's a kill team that I want. Is the dark mech. That's what I want. Like sort of who's the wannabe chaos god, the pick me chaos god guy? Vashtor, yeah. Like have some little Vashtor minions running around as dark mech. That would be freaking sweet, dude.
Okay. Here's a spin on that even more. Rather than just normal dark mech, what if we got Chaos Votan with Vashtor stuff? So we're getting basically Chaos Dwarves.
Yeah, I'd be all about that, dude.
You could have them like working together because the Chaos Admech don't care about like using as much only human tech, so that's definitely possible. And that's the rumor too, is like besides 10th edition new armies coming out for 40k, like Emperor's Children, everyone's pretty much all but accepted it's coming because we got the other 3 Chaos God ones. But the Imperial Knights Codex, the Chaos Knights Codex especially, and then the Admech Codex when they came out in 9th edition, each had like significant sections dedicated to art and just descriptions of Dark Mech and like a civil war brewing in the Admech. So I'm on a lot of copium, but please, if we get a Dark Mech army, it's going to be a legitimate problem for me because I'm going to be buying all of their kits for some weird kit bash stuff.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's Connor's. Anything Admech, just more Admech. It doesn't matter. You don't even care about the Emperor, do you?
The Emperor's, I do prefer the more Emperor Imperium sided stuff, but a little bit of crazy Xenotech technology can be pretty fun. You know, maybe just a little bit as a treat.
I mean, you like robots. Why don't you just go Necron?
My one friend plays Necrons, and I can't play the same army as he does. So we got to have our rivalry, you know?
That's fair. Yeah, I understand that. All right, so we have some questions from the Kill Team Cascadia community. So the first one comes from Adelaide, and she asks, which kill team would you want to befriend if they were real?
I wouldn't want to befriend any of them. Like, you think like the nicest person in any of these kill teams is like a genocidal like war criminal. You know, like I've hung out with some shady people, but like that's too much.
I mean, the obvious answer is Votan, because they're just going to drink, and then they're also slow, so they can't catch you in case you need to get away from them, right? I mean, they do have a lot of weapons that'll kill you, but they want to drink.
Yeah, I imagine they'd be good buddies, or like Pathfinders too. Like, as long as you don't get in the way of the Pathfinders missions, I imagine they'll like this kind of let you do your thing, and you're like, yeah, I want to join up. I want to pilot a cool mech. That'd be neat, and they'd probably be friendly to that idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a niche pick on that one. I was thinking Pathfinders too, but I'm gonna go not just intercession, but Salamander's intercession, just to go the full nicest of the nice. And I want to point something out. On the last podcast, you guys were talking about which Primarch you'd want to date. Nobody mentioned Vulcan. Vulcan's a nice guy. He's gonna take you out. He's definitely paying for the meal. He's gonna get you home on time. Like, that's the nice guy.
Yeah, until like you piss him off and he lights you on fire.
Just don't piss them off.
Just don't be an elf. Just don't be a Drakari. It'll never happen.
You know, like, what if you're out at like a Ren fair with him and like someone's like walking around with the elf ears and he just like loses it? You know, like, you can't have that kind of bigotry in our world.
That's true. That is true. He's nice most of the time until he's really not nice.
I mean, he's got a fiery temper, huh?
Ooh.
I don't get it.
See, because the salamanders actually use a lot of flame weapons, and therefore his temper is fiery. We good?
No, I still don't get it. What's a fiery?
I'll draw you a picture.
Okay, thank you. Also, speaking of last week, you guys, completely different question. I hope we answered yours, Adelaide. You guys were talking about teams that don't fit the flavor, and I'm not going to talk war covering because we all agree on that. I'm going to say, hot take, intercession. I think intercession are too bland. There are so many cool weapons that Marines, including like if we want to keep it still just intercession tacticus keyword. There's Hellblasters, those Desolation Marines or whatever they're called, the ones with the stupid like mortar cannon things. There's some Blade Guard veterans as well. I want like what Legionaries have, where you can bring all these different types of specialists, but for Marines, because Phobos are cool, but I also want tanking Marines to be able to do that. And I want a new good Space Marine team that's not super bland. And while they're a very good team, and new players are really good at getting to play them because they're simple enough, I want a Marine team with a little bit of specialisms to it without having to worship chaos to do so.
Well, that's what Strikeforce Justian is, right?
Get out of here. Hey, you know what? You're right. I think since last podcast, they finally did give them TAC ops and answer the question of how many bullets that bolter has. So they're legit. Everyone's going to play them now.
No, I would also like more Marine teams that we can play with the fun stuff, because I have a bunch of Blade Guard painted up. I've got a bunch of Hellblasters painted up, and I thought about doing a Legionaries, like a Loyalist Legionaries team, using like a Hellblaster as the plasma guy, using some of the Librarians as like the Psyker, and I was going to use a Blood Angels Death Company guy as the Anointed. I think he is the guy who goes crazy. So no, I would love to see more options for Marines.
I actually have, that is the closest other team besides Hunter Clade I have finished. I've played with them even though they're not fully painted, is Imperialist guys counting as Legionary, but I want to be able to do it legit because I like the idea of it, but I also want tanky Marines. Just give me Blade Guard veteran as a kill team. I think would be so cool too. I know we already have a ton of Marine teams, and I know saying more Marines is like almost heresy, but you know, if there is a new addition, maybe throw that in too, please.
Touching on like what you want out of Marines, I don't know if any of you guys played last edition, but that's something that I really truly miss about last edition in like it's also part of why this edition is good is how sort of balanced it is, and where they sort of limit how bad of a list you can muster. But the list building from last edition was so fun. Like Space Marines alone just had so many different units that you could pull from, and it was like just it was so much. They were fun. Like, and I sort of agree with the Intercession is I think they are perfectly bland and perfectly vanilla, which is what they're supposed to do. But I do miss being able to bring like the fun, crazy Marine profiles.
Yeah, the crazy Marines from last edition were just wild. You could do stuff like a Storm Shield and a Combi Plasma and like all kinds of just absolutely wild stuff with it. And it was really cool. But like you said, it's just like part of what makes this so good for this edition is like the tight list that we get. Maybe like in the next edition, something like that, we could see something like maybe like heroes come in, like something like the Ogren or something like that, where you could replace like 2 operatives with this one in some teams.
Yeah, I didn't play last edition, but I also heard there was a lot of like where you would just take a bunch of AP weapons or a bunch of dark lances and stuff. So I'm glad we don't really have that in this edition, but I would like to see it expand a little more, especially with the different types of Marines, because I'm a Space Marine homeboy.
It was fun, man. Last edition was janky, but super fun. Yeah, I would love like if the list building side of things is like probably a thing of the past for Kill Team, which is like cool because the game is functionally like it's just better. But some sort of elites release, like last edition elites, what made that game what it was for me to be able to take these sort of tankier or more specialized units, sort of as an add-on, like a DLC to your bespoke teams. That's my perfect dream, is that we get some sort of elites release this edition.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be so wonderful. And you're completely right. It absolutely made that last edition. Just like the weird variety of units you could bring in. I was a Dark Eldar player last edition also, and I'd mix in like everyone was running like all racks.
I remember.
I think was like the meta list, and I was running a mixed list, and my whole goal was to just break you, turning point 1. I do enough damage. I didn't even have to kill any of your guys. Hit you with the torment grenade,
Yep.
and then you just break. End of the turn, and you'd be running, and it was over. And you could do all kinds of weird stuff, and there was more flexibility, which was really cool.
So the next question from our community comes from Tristan, and Tristan wants to know who in 40K gives the best cuddles on a scale of comfortableness and mental wellness. So I think this maybe goes back to our Primarch dating question from last episode.
Oh, I mean, like Vulcan, right? Like, that's supposed to be the best hugs. That's the meme there. I mean, and then Conrad Kurz has got to give the worst ones.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Vulcan's going to give you a warm embrace, again with the fire.
I still don't get it.
Maybe a Crude Hound. Like I know they're a little spiny, but like thinking of good boys in the 40K universe, maybe a Crude Hound might be a good cuddle.
I feel like you get a Crude Hound, you just like get little scratches under the chin, it's going to just curl up right next to you.
I think so, man. I think so.
I mean, being the Blood Angels fanboy that I am, I mean, Sanguinius, like, wrap your angel wings around me, sir.
He doesn't have time for you. It's the problem. You know that he doesn't have time for you. That's a problem with Sanguinius. He's got too much going on.
I want to touch on the Kroot Hounds just a little bit. The Kroot are covered in mucus and shit, like literally.
Oh, really?
They exude it from their skin. They don't. I don't think that they like defecate normally per the lore. So like all their waste comes like out.
They sweat it out. Yeah, they quite literally still awful.
Well, then I would like to officially take that back. Maybe not the best hugs.
Nope, that's
I want a Zote. I want to give a big hug to a Zote and then like hop on his centaur back and ride him around, you know?
Yep.
What about like a Jokero? Like a Jokero just...
Dang it, Chuck, you beat me to it. I was going to say that. I've always wanted to hold the monkey. I know it's dangerous, but I want to. And they're already...
face off, dude. That Jokero's going to rip your face off.
He's going to be my friend because I'll give him some like little gadget he can play with or something.
Just don't give him Xanax.
Like a 40K Harambe going on. Connor's going to jump into the Jokero pen and then just it starts all over again. All right. And then from hypothetically Scott, what advice / resources would you give to someone who wants to improve their competitive play? Ben from Kill Team Casuals can obviously help with that.
Oh man, just start playing a bunch of games if you can. And then if you can't play a ton of games, something that's good to do is to take pictures of your games as you go, like even if it's just the end of each turning point, and reflect on what you did and what you could have done. And like it sounds nerdy, and I'm bad at this, but like take if you can't get a bunch of games in back to back, which I think is the best way to improve, because like if you can play a tournament 4 games in a day, like you'll learn so much more. You know, if you normally play 4 games a month, well, boom, then you have played a month's worth of games in a day and been able to improve game to game. But I think sort of recording your games to some degree to help you reflect, and like so many people will lose and not take the time to look at why they lost and like the decisions they made that led to their loss, which is fine. It's like we all lose, like that's just part of the game. But to be able to identify why you lost in that situation, I think is crucial.
The taking photos thing to like, especially for me, I found at the start of turning points and then one at the end, like you said, but seeing here's what I did and whether that examining whether that worked for like scoring mission actions and points or whether I could have done something more effectively is crucial. It was super useful. Otherwise, I'd say play Brandon Bean a bunch. That's what got me good. But not everyone can do that. So, but what a practice I did with him that was pretty effective was just playing the first like turning point over and over. Like instead of doing a full game, you can generally kind of tell, okay, here's where I messed up in deployment, or maybe sometimes like the first 2 turning points. You can do that multiple times and just get reps in like that and realize I'd say a lot of like one of the easiest things to improve on is your deployment as just like a player in general, and doing that where you're playing those first turning points over and over and realizing I wasted these 2 models, they could have been doing something more effectively, will rocket your ability to like feel more confident going into games because you're going to make sure every model is doing the most important job they can.
I think everyone actually can get lots of games in with Brandon Bean because he offers coaching on the internet if you're into that. So if you're listening and want to get better, you can reach out to him. But I think that, like Ben said and Connor, recording your games is a huge thing. Something that I don't do that I recommend to people is journaling about their games, keeping a game journal, kind of what you did, what turning points, noting down, like Ben said, where you feel like you messed up, and then talking to your opponent and say, like get feedback on where they think that you could improve, where they like think that the game like really like changed in their favor. If you're not losing, you're not getting any better. So like go play harder people also.
Dear Diary, why do I suck at Kill Team? My Casterkin don't seem to like me. My Melta looks at me like I'm an idiot. That's the kind of journaling you referring to, right?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I like to name everyone though, so that yeah, like Chuck didn't perform as well as he did, and Chuck's actually just a person on my kill team. I'm not personifying anything at all. Eric was really tight with the dice today, and I wasn't happy. It's not anything personal like that.
Yeah, why do all your guys have names of people you know in real life? Especially the ones that perform poorly. Connor, well, just Connor.
Connor did nothing wrong and rolled nothing but crits and also scored all the secondaries.
No, I think Ben is 100% right with the playing a tournament. Tournaments are, it can be very intimidating to get into one because you think like, oh my gosh, I have to go and play competitive. But the thing about just getting like games back to back to back, like playing a game at your friendly local game store and then coming back next week and playing another game is one thing, but playing over and over and over again sounds like a lot, but it is the best way to really figure out your team and figure out your deployment and see what you're doing. I think that's the best way to do it, is just playing more of the game. I do also think that finding a podcast or a video of the team that you're playing and finding the tips and tricks of them is super good. We talked before about Venture Minis, who really helped me in my Casterkin game by watching his videos. So I think like finding your resources and playing a bunch of games is a big way to help with it.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Is like so many. I've seen this a lot where people will it's not intentional, but develop an ego about their team that like they are so good at this team, and like you just go ask somebody who is doing better than you with the team, like, hey, like I'm struggling in this area, like what does your turning point 2 look like? I'm struggling there. Or like, man, my deployment, I've just been sort of beating myself in deployment. Like, don't have an ego about it. Like, go ask someone who is better than you. Like, first off, recognize that there are many people better than you at this game, and number two, like, just ask them, because like everybody wants to be asked about their kill team and talk about the kill team they love. So I think that's huge. Just like, man, like what you just mentioned is like, just talk to somebody for help. Like, if they don't have a video, just find someone and ask them like, well, how can I improve?
I think that's kind of a big point in life, actually, is if you can ask for feedback on something that you're doing, it's going to be wildly helpful for you. And then just talking to someone about how they play the team and how they look at it, because they may see stuff different ways. I played Casterkin for a year and was still finding people that were playing them differently from me, and like finding little tips and tricks, even though I'd played them the entire time.
Totally.
All right. And we have one more from Adelaide. And now this is going to take quite a bit of participation from each of you. So, what sounds do Felgor make?
Okay, so I've been thinking about the Felgor a lot recently because they're one of the hot teams now. I think that they're mostly cows, actually, when you look at the models this time. So, like, I think that they moo. I think it's like a, but like more guttural. Like, I can't really like do it. I don't really have like death metal voice, despite being a huge fan of
Can
that
you try
stuff.
though?
Like a, like, like maybe like
Ooh, that's pretty good.
like a bleeding kind of like cross between a goat, like an angry goat, and a cow.
All right, Connor, what sounds do Felgor make in your head?
I actually like to imagine them as just kind of like very high pitched yelling, because in my head that makes it even more terrifying. Like a goat the size of like a space marine charging at you, and then while he's doing it, he's just like, "Hi man, there's one over there." Sounds way scarier to me than just a normal roar.
Perfect. Love it. Ben?
Oh man, I feel like Tyler sniped this one. But have you ever seen the videos of like the fainting goats? I think that that the Felgor are just like fainting goats, because you think you have killed them and they fall over, but then they get back up again and murder you. So I think they're really fainting goats.
I think that one right there is money, actually, because the not being able to be incapacitated for the first round, yeah. Fainting goats, I think that's the sound the Felgor make. I also think that like Felgor are kind of misunderstood. Like, while yes, they're angry and they get frenzied, like they're gentlemen. They come at you, they bring music with a gong, they bring like aromatics with their tox bomb, and I just think they're more aristocratic than we really think they are, and just a misunderstood team all around.
Yeah, just like every good gentleman, they just want to smear blood and poop on a big rock at the end of the day, just like all gentlemen.
I mean, that's what I did today. What'd you guys do?
Yeah, I had the day off, so it's just blood and poop on my giant rock at my place. Like another sound they can make, it could be like elk sounds. Have you like heard what elk sound like?
No, I haven't.
They're crazy sounding. You should go look it up. They're like absolutely insane sounding.
Can you give us an example? Just
Here, hold on 1 second. Let's see.
No, I want it from you, not the internet.
Really loud elk screaming.
Oh goodness. Yep, heard it there.
Elk calls are real weird.
Good luck, Eric. Have fun with that one, buddy.
Nobody went with the goat sound. Nobody went with the standard like bleeding goat, like.
Well, yeah, we're all trying to be quirky and different. We don't want to just give you we're trying to give you fun answers here.
I can't do goat sounds. I can only really do like monkeys.
Can you bring Sarah in? Can she do a goat sound?
I don't know if she can. I'll have to ask you, or ask her and get back for you, okay?
Jenna, can you do a goat sound for us? She's a hard no.
Do you think that there's like other kinds of beastmen out there that aren't like goats or like horned bovines?
I hope so.
There's gotta be.
What would, if you had to be this different subset of a beastman that's not a goat or a cow, what would you be?
A bear, absolutely.
No cat people. We're just throwing that out there.
True, yeah.
It's weird.
I'll agree to that, but like a bear beast man would be super intimidating. Like bears are already super scary. Now imagine a bear with a giant axe or like a big ass machine gun. That's terrifying.
Now that you mentioned that, though, Tyler, I want to see like an entire Cats the Musical Felgor team.
Is this the butthole or no butthole edition, though?
What do you
You know
think?
the truth. You
Come
know the
on,
truth.
you know.
Search your heart. You know what the truth is.
I mean, like, we're getting into Kingdom Death territory now.
It's always the butthole edition over here.
I think I would like to be a rat, like, because I have a deep love for Skaven, and when Felgor was announced, I started kit bashing up a Skaven team, and I got like 8 out of 10 operatives through until Tyler rescued me, and I was able to buy a kit of Felgor off him. But I would be like a Skaven rat beastman.
I think that'd be pretty cool, but I want them to have distinctly different rules than current Beastmen. I want like a entirely like opposite, very sneaky, like quick mobile a rat Beastman team would be pretty cool.
That'd be sweet.
Like maybe having tunnels they can go in, like you could kind of like the Wormblade tunnel thing, something like that. One guy
Ooh,
places
yeah.
an entrance, one guy places an exit, and they can like teleport between the two or something.
What about like Old Hammer style, like an ostrich beastman or like a flamingo beastman or something weird? I want to see some weird stuff. Like, or tomorrow, one of the local players here in Salem, she did a fell boar ravengers, so like big boars. That was really cool.
Ooh, that's really good. You have pictures of that?
I don't know if she ever finished it up all the way. Just like did a couple of the conversions, but like that's a cool idea. Like
Yeah, I love
like
that.
Rocksteady and Bebop, like rolling around basically.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be sweet.
What would be the least intimidating Felgor Ravagers proxy team?
Maybe a squirrel, like a squirrel beastman. That'd be pretty unintimidating.
I think that like Chippendale Rescue Rangers, the Beastmen.
Oh man, maybe this would be even more frightening.
I would actually like to see I kind of want to see Squirrel Beastmen now.
I think it'd be hard to take him serious with like the giant bushy tail, but it'd be like Conker's Bad Fur Day, only on a much more violent and gross scale.
With more poop and blood.
Why do we keep going back to this?
That's a hard feat, honestly.
Maybe like a golden retriever beastman though. Like they'd be your friend rather than your enemy. But like they'd be good guard dogs, I guess.
I have a golden retriever and he's an idiot. I love that dog so much, but yeah, that would be the least.
There's no way they could hurt you. You just throw like any sort of ball object and they'd stop everything they're doing.
Yeah, like one grenade goes off in the field and everybody just like runs to it. Ben, you got any kill teams in the work? Is your Hyrotech built and ready to go? You got anything in the pipeline?
They are built. They're not fully painted. I've gone for like a destroyer cult kit bash. So like my Chronomancer is like walking on like the tri leg thing. And then all of my immortals are kit bashed out of the Crypto Thralls bodies from the old Indomitus box that they came in there. And so, which is to me like the lore is pretty fitting because these guys just keep getting reanimated so many times that like they're just a husk of what they used to be. So like a destroyer cult with a bunch of Crypto Thralls. That was my team there, and they're not finished painting yet, but I'm trying to really go all out and do a good paint job on them. So that's all I have in the works right now. And then just this new couple of boxes. I'll probably paint up some Night Lords in the near future, but aside from that, don't have anything in the plan.
Do you have anything that you want specifically from the Night Lords as far as like rules?
Oh man, I want them. Let me think about this. I want them to sort of be the Phobos version, the sort of the Chaos Phobos, where more of a control team, which I think we've seen that with like the Ventriloquar. I think it's going to be more of a control piece, if I had to guess. And like less if legionaries are just the hammer, maybe more of a scalpel team where less brutal outright just damage to the face, but more nuance, a little trickier would be my hope.
I'd really like to see like something to give them some room to breathe against higher model count teams. Ways to delay activations, stuff like that. That would really give them some teeth.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing that all elite teams need is something to stem the tide of the hordes. Well, gentlemen, thank you for coming on. Ben, so awesome to talk to you. It was great to meet you in Vegas, and can't wait to see you in October at Kill Scream.
Yeah, man, what a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me on. Anytime. It's my pleasure.
It was really wonderful hanging out with you again. I think this is like what the third time we've chatted on a podcast together,
I think
something like
so.
that.
Yeah, it seems like the only time we both were on Squad Games. I think we shared an episode twice, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, I'll do a podcast anytime if it's an excuse to hang out with you, Tyler.
Absolutely, man. Same here. Just hit me up.
So, Ben, tell the people where they can find you on social media. Are you doing anything as Battle Brothers Tabletop? What's going
So
on with that?
Battle Brothers, man, I'm working on stuff sort of behind the scenes for Battle Brothers, but I got two young daughters, and so I'm trying to be as present as I can there. Between that and work and some other stuff I got going on, it's hard. But with this new edition, rumored edition around the corner, I would like to get back going. So I always say videos are on the way, and but it's been a minute. I think Goats is the last time I put out a video, which was a hot minute ago. But I got some ideas. But then what is always coming out is the Kill Team Casuals podcast that I do with my two good buds, Reese and Russ from Threes to Wound and GFN Gaming. And that comes out usually once a week, but, sometimes once every other week. And we chat Kill Team. We have a good time. So you can find that on anywhere that podcasts are featured.
I've been watching a lot of the GFN Gaming battle reports lately. They're really good, actually. I really enjoying watching them.
Dude, Russ is a machine. Like, just the content that he puts out, and he gets it done so quickly to such a high caliber. Like the dude is just a machine.
So you've got your YouTube and you got Instagram, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Battle Brothers Tabletop. Is some version of that. I think it's Battle Brothers Tabletop with an underscore in between the words, probably. So you can check me out there. And then if you ever need any minis, check out Warpfire Minis at warpfireminis.com. I will likely, it's possible I will be the person to pack up your minis. So if you place an order, write in a note, and I'll be the one to pack it. I'll throw in some goodies for you.
I'm gonna have to place an order just so I can get a special note from you. So
Dude, man, I got stickers. I'll hook you up, dude.
nice. And then I'm at Painting Cave Minis on Instagram, trying to be a little more active on there. You can always also find our Discord at killteamcascadia.com. You got your own Discord too, Ben, right?
That's true. Yeah, the Battle Brothers Discord. Hit us up if you want to hang out and talk Kill Team in another Discord. We're one of the ones out there.
And then Tyler, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Lowbrow Minis on Instagram. Always in our Discord, or almost any Discord related to Kill Team. I'm lurking there. If you at me, you'll find me. Or dicethrower.bigcartel.com. New shirts are on the way. I just dropped off some blanks at the printers. It's getting real excited. I can't wait to drop all the new designs here in the next week or so.
Give us a little tease.
Is the AdMech design in that one, or is that farther down the line?
That's a little farther down the line.
Dang it.
This one, we had a really good opportunity. Blunt Force Beatdown on 420, and I couldn't pass it up. So I'm doing some 420 themed merch. So it's going to be really cool. We got some Xenos on it, some Orcs coming on it, and it's going to be really cool. There's going to be 2 colorways. One of them is going to be limited to 25 of that colorway. Only time I'm going to print it just for 420. And then we got long sleeves of the Bastard shirts with new on sleeve printing and some cool stuff there, and maybe some surprises too.
Nice. That sounds very exciting, and I will buy 10 copies of the AdMech one whenever that comes out. So just put me down for those now.
Sounds good. I will require you to purchase those. That's a pre-sale right there, verbal contract.
Shoot. Well, they're gonna have to be hard fitting that into the budget, but oh well, worth it.
Connor, where can we find you?
At Spanaway, as always, SPANNAWAY. Someone asked why I spell it, and the reason being, there's a town in Washington near Tacoma called Spanaway with 1 N, and if you look it up, all you really get is crappy coffee shops, so that's why I always spell it out.
To be fair, when I first saw you on Discord, I thought, and you live up north, and I thought that you went by that because you lived in there. I didn't realize for quite a while, that it was actually your last name.
It's actually not my last name, funnily enough, but it's very similar to my last name. My last name is Spaneth. It's like German or something. I don't know. But when I moved to Washington in high school, I was like the 9th Connor in my grade. And my friend Casey, she heard my last name and she's like, I'm not learning how to say that. I'll just call you Spanaway instead. And I was like, that's a good name. And it stuck. And I'm glad it did, because it means no one has it, because no one wants to be named after a crappy drive-through town. And if they are, they're not going to spell it the same way I do either.
So also in Kill Team Cascadia, we have coming up our big narrative event, the Bands of Porteous. It actually launches this weekend, I think.
This Friday.
It's going to be it's going to be spanning the entire Northwest area. We've got game stores in the northern area near Seattle and down in Vancouver, as well as Portland, down all the way to Salem. So a couple 100 miles of different game stores that are actually going to be playing a narrative campaign with each other, and there's going to be territories to control. We're going to have that launching soon, and I think we might even record a podcast just as a primer to Bands of Porteous and what to do and how to play. So that's super exciting. As Tyler mentioned, we also have the Blunt Force Beatdown on 420. There's only a few tickets left, and it's going to be a 48 player tournament. All the normal Kill Team Cascadia support, which means that there's a ton of prizes. There's going to be donations to local charities, as well as a bounty board, so you can actually mark people to kill them, and the person that collects the most bounties also gets extra prizes, as well as the hobby, the prizes as well too. So there's only a few tickets left. You can, in the killteamcascadia.com Discord, you can actually find the link to that, so make sure you jump on that and get a chance at some great prizes, as well as an amazing event at Guardian Games here in Portland on 420.
Yeah, that Bands of Porteous thing that we just mentioned, super exciting, super fun, and looking forward to it. Thank you both, Eric and Fabi, the both of you. I know I've put a lot of work into this. I've seen you in the call doing a bunch, so thank you both. Shout out to you. I'm sure we'll shout out you throughout the next coming weeks as well. But yeah, this is going to be super exciting, and I cannot wait for it to start.
And we also, Connor has been awesome in putting together a tournament up in the Northern Washington area. We'll be announcing that soon, so keep an eye out for that. And then obviously Kill Scream is in October. Tyler has been working behind the scenes to actually make it for people like Ben, who are going to be traveling, a little easier, because we're working on some details with the hotels to get you some discounts for when you come in town too.
That's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, it should hopefully be a very reasonable rate at a very close and walkable location. Like, you'd fly in, hop on the Max, ride it straight to the hotel, and then walk to the event, walk to food, and all the fun stuff you'd want to do here in Portland. So trying to make it like really, really convenient for everyone to be able to experience this wonderful city.
And I know we've mentioned it before, but always worth mentioning again. What days are those on? October what?
We're looking at 4th, 5th, and 6th of October now. We're pretty set on dates. It's just a matter of final paperwork, stuff like that, to get location secured. And then once we have the location contract signed and all of that stuff, we will be putting tickets up for sale. And it's going to be more than just a Kill Team event at this point. I feel comfortable saying that. We got some other stuff in the works, and it's going to be very exciting. I'm very, very excited. I really can't wait to tell everyone much, much more about it.
Like I said, when y'all brought me on to the kind of leadership of Kill Team Cascadia, y'all had huge dreams for this, and they're becoming a reality. So Ben, you're coming out, right? You're locked and loaded.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped. I cannot wait to join you guys.
Yeah, I've already reserved a couch at one of our organizers' places for you if you need it, man. Like you are coming out, and that's like hell or high water. Like it better be like a real emergency for you to not make it out here. So
listen, man, if you got a couch, I'll be there.
Hell yeah, we got a couch.
Hopefully there is no real emergencies that keep you from that, but no, we would love to see you out there, and bring more of your Florida people too.
I'm psyched, man. That would be awesome.
I think George is coming, isn't he? He's kind of already committed too, and then I think a few other of the Battle Brothers guys,
Oh
like
man,
Adrian, and
I
I know
will.
Vince is going to be here. So,
I'll have to get with George because the Six-Sided Paradise guys. That'd be sweet if they could make it out as well.
dude, that would be so good. I can't wait to meet them.
They are the life of the party, man. If I could shout out some of the Florida scene, the Six-Sided Paradise guys, George and Dawson and Tomas and the crew, like man, they are the life of the party. Anywhere those guys are, they're just super fun.
Yeah, the Six-Sided Paradise guys have jumped into the Kill Team Cascadia Discord recently, and they're kind of giving us a little challenge too. They jumped ahead of Cats, which is our competitive scene, and they let us know about it too.
Yeah, George is loving it, man. George loves a good rivalry. He's a big teddy bear, and he loves a good rivalry. Yeah, after the Magnolia Open, he's been posting everywhere, and so you guys gotta take it back. The year is young. The year is young, and so but he's living it up while he can.
I mean, as he should, like time is short. The cats are going to get you. So, love you, George. I can't wait to meet you, dude. I'm very excited about that. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ben, again for joining us. It was great to talk to you again, and we would love to have you on anytime. Anything else y'all gentlemen want to add before we sign off?
go roll some dice and have some fun. Make some friends.
Yeah, man.
It was great to finally meet Ben as well. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Oh man, total pleasure, dude. Glad we finally got to connect. And I know Chuck's here and Chuck's a downer, but I will publicly pledge my allegiance to your AdMech cause. And but I want to see that Hyrotech AdMech conversion. If there's anybody who can do it, it's you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll have to get on it now at this point, now that the gauntlet's been thrown.
Yeah, and if Connor wasn't fanboying enough to just meeting you, Ben, now that you've put me down about AdMech, he's gonna be over the moon. Like Sierra's gonna have her hands
Ben
full
has
tonight.
gone higher than you on the ladder of coolness, Chuck. So, suck it.
King of Kill Team has commanded. Make those Hyrotech Circle AdMech real, Connor.
Do it up, man.